now talk, and the earth yields milk and honey. Supernatural sounds emanate from him too. He feels himself a god. He himself now walks about.
We're a long way from home. Welcome to the pleasure dome. On our way home. Going home where lovers roam. Long way from home. Welcome to the pleasure dome. The power of love, a force from above, cleaning my...
Заходите. Ворона, бегом. На место.
What's happened, troops? Just wanted to remind you that our new single Dirty Fuckers is out this Friday, the 1st of November. The song is about DF concerts, who, as you may all know, are the largest promoter in Scotland. They're owned by Live Nation, which is like...
Life in the city was getting me down, and it seemed like time for a change. And what better than a remote mountain village in Spain to recharge and make some music? That cave in the mountain became my liminal hangout.
Holy God, who's that? What on? What?
Is RH here?
No.
Is PS here?
Anyway, this guy Olaf Standel is a writer for the Times of Israel, and he's obviously a total Zionist, and he's been trying for quite some time to get elected.
My name is Lizzie, I am an activist and I am on day 4 of a hunger strike protesting the UK Labour government's continued funding, arming and supporting of Israel's genocide in Gaza, forcing...
And here we are all these years later, more than a year into the US and Israel's unflinching and ongoing televised genocide in Gaza and now Lebanon in defense of a colonial occupation.
a cotton field, a silver mine, Johannesburg to Palestine, broken treaties, dreams deprived, we kept the little flame alive. Bobby Seale to Bobby Sands, a picket held in frozen hands, sat down on I-95 to keep the little flame alive. 100 years, 100 more, we throw our weight against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep that little flame alive. Ford the river, cross the sea, a slave, a rat, a refugee. Strap the child to your side, keep the little flame alive. Ho, Guevara, Connolly, we hid down in the scullery. A secret whispered by the wives kept the little flame alive. 100 years, 100 more, we throw our weight against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep that little flame alive. Faye, Dolores, Bernadine, table grapes and gasoline, homemade rifles, kitchen knives, kept the little flame alive. Warsaw, Tulsa, wounded knee, they buried us, but we were seeds, and singing from the grave we rise to keep the little flame alive. 100 years, 100 more, we throw our weight against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep that little flame alive. Keep that little flame alive. Remember when they shot Joe Hill? He spoke his last and final will. Good luck to all of you. Don't cry, but keep the little flame alive.
وحتى نارك جنة، حتى نارك جنة، جنة جنة جنة، تسلم يا وطننا، جنة جنة جنة، تسلم يا وطننا، يا وطن يا حبايب، يا ابو تراب الطيب، يا وطن.
Hey everyone, this is Bisan from Gaza. I am still alive in the day 472 of the genocide, and it's now 8 a.m. Gaza time. In 30 minutes, the official ceasefire announcement will be out. But before this, you need to know that this is not the end of the occupation, nor even the genocide. What is happening now is that the genocide is just slowing. It's becoming slower, and the media focus is decreasing, because there is still an occupation, stealing land, killing people, arresting people, an apartheid occupation, chasing Palestinians everywhere, in Gaza Strip, West Bank, everywhere. Palestine is not free. 80% of Gaza is destroyed. We have a death toll much more what we think it is, what was officially recorded. People of Gaza lost their homes, their jobs, their businesses, their families. Gaza itself lost a high number of its workforce. And all of this does not guarantee that the war criminals will be held accountable, brought to courts, or even be punished. Can you imagine? By the way, also it is a temporary ceasefire. It's a temporary truce for 42 days only, and it can be extended. Okay? So what you need to know is that Palestine and Gaza changed the world forever. The world has changed by the blood of Gaza, and it must not return as it was before. The resistance and steadfastness of my people helped them to survive. But also your awareness, your boycotting, your seek to boycott Israel and its supporters to end colonialism made difference. So be aware, this change must go on by you and by us, must be even louder and faster. In a few minutes, I will post more videos of people celebrating here the ceasefire, but by then, think of my speech and think more how you can change now and how you can carry on your fight, because Palestine is not yet free. Colonialism is eating our lands and our worlds and our lives every single day. And this is not what we are fighting and what we fought before to achieve. Okay? Yalla, salam. Free Palestine!
Buenos dias. Good morning. Good morning, Raj1. Yes. Hit like, subscribe, do what you can. Do what you can to support What the X. Where's my mouse? Morning opinion, morning Madam Guy, good rising. The laughter of Carthage. So important what she's saying. People see ceasefire and use that to forget and move along. But to be honest, we don't need that excuse anyways, as they didn't care in the first instance, or we were too cowardly. Morning to you, Matty Ross. Roots home, Viva la vida. Kit Kats, good morning to you. Viva Palestina. Viva Palestina. Wizard Bazan said that the world had changed by the blood of Gaza. I think that's true. I think that's true. But what do you think? Do you think the world has changed? Or do you think a lot of cats are kind of just want it, just enough of this, eh? Just too much of that. Too much reality from a wee. I want to just go and play computer games. I just want to go and play on my PlayStation and that, and just go into a virtual world. Can't wait for GTA 6. I'll go and stop all this real killing. I just want to indulge in virtual killing endlessly. I didn't like it. Can we just? No, I didn't want to talk about it. Quality, yeah. Has the world changed? By Gazan blood, by the blood of Gaza. I think it has. Roots home. Max Eigen says we are all Palestinians now. He's got a point. I think he does. I think that for those of us who have found it impossible to ignore, GTA Israel Edition. It's like the world has changed by the blood of Gaza. A bit tired this morning. Didn't get much kip. But then imagine how little kip they folk have had for the last 471 days or however long it was like. Do you know what? In a weird way, the thing that I was kind of vicariously looking forward to for them was, and I think I've seen some confirmation of it, that they've, as part of the ceasefire, They don't have these drones circling over their heads. And anyone that had kind of been paying attention to what's been going on there, any video you ever see of anything that's, this is the soundtrack to life in Gaza. Is this constant, these buzzing surveillance and drones and just this noise in the air and the atmosphere in the sky. It's like a few of them, I think Wizard Bazan had done a video about it, a few people have mentioned it, but it's just mental, just this constant 24/7. I think Israel is the most evil state currently in existence, if that's what it is, the state of Israel. The state of Israel. I think Zionism is Nazism. I think it's an imperialist project that there aren't any really words to describe how scandalous it is. It's an absolute blight. And everybody that has participated in it and facilitated in it should be in jail, including Keir Starmer. Everybody that has assisted with the supply of these weapons to murder and maim innocent people. But I think it's important to overcome these kind of ridiculous. I've never seen anything quite like Zionist mentalities expressed online or otherwise. None of us have, I would imagine. The weaponised victimhood, the sense of entitlement, the racial superiority, the way that Palestinians have been dehumanised, and the fact that the history of the conflict has continually been, there's been perpetual attempt of revisionism throughout this entire period. It's a conflict that's always been, if you're a socialist, if you're a pacifist, or you're concerned about the curse of capitalism and imperialism, it's a conflict you would always have been aware of. But the fact of the matter is, this conflict started a long time ago. Is it over? No, of course it's not over. And is this merely just a moment of respite or something, potentially? Sadly, that's potentially what we're experiencing just now. But I was pleased to see so many joyful scenes in Gaza. I was, not remotely surprised by the reactionary comments that I've seen online from Zionists and quasi-Zionists and those that support this horrific fascist regime. They wanted the ridiculous disputes about whether it's a genocide and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, there we go. We've reached a point of respite. A moment of breathing space, and let's hope that somehow the political will is there, and that somehow this extends and maintains and continues. We can only hope that that's the case. But when it comes to Hamas and whatnot, this is a victory in many respects for the resistance. We can't ignore that. We can't pretend that it's not. The resolve of those people is beyond comprehension, absolutely beyond comprehension. So, Viva Palestina, Viva Palestina. Right. Oh, well, let's get to it then, right? So Jeremy Corbyn is getting a pat down. What is going on? What is going on? How are we all anyway? Did everyone have a joyful weekend? Has everybody? This is the Exodus. What's Matt Kennard saying? Madness. Just hours after the ceasefire went into effect on Sunday, Keir Starmer sent a British spy plane over Gaza to collect intelligence for Israel. The plane turned its transponder off over the Mediterranean, then spent 5 hours in the sky over Gaza, returning at 9 p.m. last night. Keir Starmer can get to fuck, eh? Keir Starmer, bolt your edge. Trump, is today the inauguration? Oh, that's what I meant. There's one video that I meant to put up. I made a video years ago. As usual, it got pilfered. It got like over 1 million views, when 1 million views was still like quite an impressive thing. And it was, I put the Kaaba where, at the inauguration, and it was Muslims at the Kaaba. It was a good piece. Overlooked, underappreciated. Kill surprise. Right, so what happened to Jeremy Corbyn? Does anybody know? What's James Stamford said? Suella Braverman has gone to great to be in Washington, D.C. for President Trump's inauguration. Tomorrow, a new era of security, prosperity and hope begins for the USA and the world. These people are just morons, aren't they? Absolute, total and utter, just the political class. James Stafford, the cheerleaders assemble like redcoats on a fox hunt, forming an orderly queue to worship at the feet of a tyrant, while Tom McDonald serenades them with some unintelligible shite. Elon will be short-circuiting with glee. Yeah, it's all a bit peculiar, isn't it? We really are in some end times. What's David Jameson saying? Many of the Palestinian women released after months and years today were in prison for trumped-up nonsense or even no charge at all. It's not hyperbole to describe them as hostages. They and thousands more have been routinely ignored by Western media and politicians. What is the failure? What is the failure of the contemporary age of Palestine and Gaza? The indictment on our imperialism, on our failed neoliberal project, because this is also a blow. The Hamas victory is a blow to neoliberalism. Are we witnessing the crumbling last vestiges of neoliberalism? I think we are. I think that's my personal perspective. A very nice lady did actually purchase that book that I wanted by Wendy Brown called Undoing the Demos, and I'm reading it and it's absolutely brilliant. I'd highly recommend it. She's kind of the authority on neoliberalism, and I'll report back, but I'm very much enjoying reading that at the minute. Is this music too loud? Let me know. Get this clown. Good to see John White. I'll get John White up soon. We'll get him in for a blether. I've got an idea for a wee vibe with John, so we'll get John in for some geopolitical deconstructing. Get this clown on a flight back to Canada. Inept Lorna Slater accuses Honest John of sucking up to Trump. She spouts a load of feeble slogans and semi-illiterate drivel. Then her arguments unravel under questioning. Honestly, I've seen better politicians in the student union. Lorna Slater is horrendous. Lorna Slater's no good, is she? I'm not even going to watch that. I prefer, perhaps I'm not alone in this, but with the advent of subtitles and everything being captioned, I often don't even listen to it. I can't. You know how annoying people are anyway. So sometimes it's just much easier to just watch things with the sound down. Maybe somebody's watching this with the sound down, eh? Better not be. Not with the sonic selections that we've always got for you. For a few dollars more, American voters sold their freedom. What's Lisa McKenzie saying? Well, Dan Hodges is a twat, but let's see. There's an interesting exchange between Lisa McKenzie and Dan Hodges, so what have we got? Is it Vanessa Redgrave that Dan Hodges is the laddie off? Which is a shame, because his ma was cool, wasn't it? Nah, was it Redgrave? Was it Redgrave? Who's Dan Hodges' mum? It's the other one, it wasn't Redgrave. I find it staggering how many people on the right are so openly hoping Trump undermines and denigrates Keir Starmer and damages Britain. What, any more than Keir Starmer's damaged Britain? Whatever you think of him, he's still our Prime Minister and has been just been democratically elected by the British people. Trump has not. They always love to get on board with it's democracy when it suits them, eh? Lisa McKenzie says, this is happening because people have lost faith and trust in our political system. Tories are to blame with the years of chaos, but Starmer government has made it worse with their tone deafness and throwing around the far-right accusations over anything that is uncomfortable. There's a lot of truth in that, but I agree with Lisa to an extent there. Katrina Grant. The lies they tell us and the lies we choose to believe. The UK is one of the richest countries in the world. The private sector has been looting the public sector for decades. Disability benefits are unsustainable. The NHS is unsustainable. And now the pension triple lock is unsustainable, or so we are told. They were all entirely sustainable before the private sector started looting the public sector, yeah. What are we going to do? How are we going to sort this? Glenda Jackson, that's right, yeah, Glenda Jackson. That was his mum. And she was quite, I think I can't say for sure, but I feel like I had a sort of a respect for Glenda Jackson. I'm pretty sure she was a pretty tough nut, but he's a wet wipe. I can't be arsed with him. What's this? A gamer laid more of a glove on Elon Musk than Keir Starmer ever has. Lying about his gaming skills. I'll maybe watch that one later. It's good that people are using this term legacy media. It's an important, for all, in this age of identity politics and this kind of era of cancel culture, it's very black and white, binary. You're in, you're out. This is good, this is bad. Exiled, excommunicated. All this kind of stuff goes on. So it's liberals have got themselves in a bit of a problem, or bourgeois liberals have, by indulging in all that, because life's more complex than that. Things are more nuanced, and also more mental. There's a lot to be said for the chaos of events. Is there anybody? There's a raft of characters in X here. Let me have a wee look. I had my windy covered. Belgium was got don't need drones. Got the RAF instead, innit? They're still doing intel flights from Makatori. David Lammy, one of the least edifying sights during this. Lammy, a reprehensible individual, utterly repugnant. I found, what always bothered me about this whole affair with Lammy was the position that he took over Grenfell, and he really positioned himself as a humanitarian, and you kind of believed it. Well, why would you know, He said that he had, he had a friend or somebody that perished in that fire, and you thought, maybe this guy's got a bit of integrity or something. He's absolutely sold it over this period, hasn't he? She was okay, left-wing Labour, Glenda Jackson. He's a bellend. I'm enjoying Beldam's raft of communiques here. I presume we mean Dan Hodges. George Patterson, the fantastic George Patterson. War is unsustainable. Tax avoidance is unsustainable. Royalty is unsustainable. I should put that on my t-shirt. But this is what's on my t-shirt. This was another. I'm feeling very appreciated of late. I've been getting gifts and presents from people, and it's very nice. Like, this is a gift that somebody gave me, Classwell, which I thought was great. It's a really well made ropa as well, That was for you, Kit Kats. That's what the slogan was on my t-shirt, because it is class war, right? It's and it's always been, and something that I think that we have to sort of take into consideration, that people don't. We talk about working class and all this kind of stuff, and people, all of a sudden, it's like the terminology becomes appetising when it's necessary. Remember when Mick Lynch started appearing and he was knocking out the park and spitting fire? Although I had said, I think I respect Mick Lynch, but when you come through the sort of 70s or the 80s or whatever, these guys, it wasn't unusual to hear a sharp-tongued working class voice, like giving it tight to the establishment. And there's a great, he joins a rich pantheon of articulate attackers, but maybe the Luigi thing in America. You're seeing this. You are seeing it in the States. You're seeing a sort of, a revival, or not even so much a revival. You see a sort of like a sense of class consciousness emerging, perhaps. Could be wrong, but when we only have social media to really determine what's going on there. But that is a communicative force, and it's important to consider how useful it may well be. Others would dismiss it and say it's redundant. I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. But the working class as a group, as an identifiable group or something, it's we must sort of remember that what the working class is the term that emerged from its relative state to capital. So if you don't have a comprehensive, if you think you understand, even working class people, people who maybe are politically astute or otherwise, if you don't have a sort of grasp of capital, if you're not thinking about capital as the primary oppositional force, then you can get a bit sidetracked and kind of a bit indulgent in the identitarian aspect of what it is to be working class as well. I've got some very personal experiences of this in terms of my position politically as an artist over the years, and the oppositional forces that I've experienced and the sort of snark that I've received, it's never failed to amuse me, because it's a big cell phone when middle class people want to attack me for championing a class position, an anti-capitalist position, or a pro-working class position. But we'll get on to that another time. There's a whole show to be had to talk about that. But I think that, you know, what are we going to do? Are we going to keep electing neoliberal bureaucrats that are going to just continue to maintain the status quo? Is that what we want? The other thing I was going to say, has everyone fucked off to Blue Sky then? I know that George Monibot and whatnot, they were doing it. I had a look at Blue Sky the other day, and it is essentially a complete echo chamber of liberals and centrists. It's a horrendous thing to look at. It's embarrassing for all of those people that went over there but it's also populated primarily by cowards, because most of those people that I've looked at, especially those that, you know, and the lack of self-awareness of many of the individuals, you know, who maintain their accounts on X, but then they go there and stuff, and who genuinely seem to think that they've gone to another place. That's going to be an interesting thing to ponder. I mean, like, people are mental, basically. But I don't think that it's an interesting thing. See this period. The question is, you know, Wizard Bazan made the statement, you know, the world has changed. The world is changed by the blood of Gaza. It's just a fact, right? It's just true. And I think that nobody has to say anything. Nobody's obliged, or there's no obligation. But other people could have said a lot more. And people who have been in positions of, you know, I've said this many times, but it's been a profoundly exposing 15 months. And for those of us who, let me make a wee statement about this actually, because I was talking to a pal about this all day. And I was sort of saying, like, over the last 15 months, people are like, even like, you know, folk have kind of got, like, people have detached from social media, or even people have messaged me about it otherwise, and folk have at times over the period, like over this period, have become a bit irritated by my propensity to propagate images of this genocide, of dead kids and that kind of thing. And I was sort of talking to a pal about it the other day there, and I was going like, I don't think I was ever really doing that certainly wasn't doing it from any kind of sort of salacious, or, like, you know what I mean, you know, gore kind of, like, you know, the sort of gore porn of it or something. It's horrendous. It's like, for me, it's like, I think I would be the shock of what's going on, and the fact that it's mediated via these kind of detached mediums and this, you know, the communicative capitalism and all that stuff. It's like, I think I was, for me, it's like I was doing it to know that it's real. It's like I'm putting that there as a marker for me. Like, I don't give a fuck what if anybody, and I'm reposting that because I've seen that, and that's like. And I think if it was your society and your culture that was experiencing such a devastating attack and such incomprehensible injustice, knowing that the wider planet was just looking on indifferent, what seems to appear to be indifferent. I don't know. I think for me there was just something about, and You know, I pray that this is going to end, but you know, something tells me that that's not going to be the case. But for a minute, we've got a minute to kid ourselves, perhaps, that we take a few minutes to reflect or something. But we can't not all be collect. How many little muslin blood-soaked parcels do you need to see, you know? And the overwhelming nature of it, I don't know. I think that we must have all suffered some deep collective trauma, you know? But respect to... I haven't looked at it. Gregor McIntosh says it's brilliant. Oh, that's a subjective perspective. I would completely disagree with that. I don't think it's brilliant at all. I think it is essentially a liberal centrist echo chamber. TikTok reinstated in the US now. It's kind of like it's a place for cowards to go and whisper into their pillows. Beldam Lascar says Blue Sky is the social media equivalent of that anti-Brexit guy who wandered around outside Parliament with a loudspeaker. 100%. Sharpie says, I can't take to Blue Sky. It can be a bit sanctimonious with the state X's in. I'm finding myself a bit less online, which is a good thing, definitely. The only thing that keeps me online is it appears to be the only place to get anywhere near the truth in Palestine, etc. Yes, and that's true. And I think that's the thing. This is the issue with Musk, X, and all this kind of stuff. What people fail to realise is there's a real liberal denialism going on. And when I first started doing What the X, I was kind of making this point that Twitter in its sort of earlier form, it wasn't that different really from what it is now. The difference now is that a lot of those liberal voices have departed, so they've disrupted that balance in quite a significant way. You saw a lot of people going like, you know, stay here. People being like, stay on the battlefield, or stay here and fight, or whatnot. And I think that they're pretty reasoned arguments. You know, nobody reads fucking newspapers anymore. People consume media in new ways, in more, you know, abstract kind of like short, pithy ways, what have you. Is it healthy? I doubt it. You know, but that's not the point. It's like, you know, the biggest farce was the pretense that like our legacy media, if you like, wasn't relying on Twitter for the vast majority of its stories anyway. You know, the fact that Musk has got a personal stake in wanting to involve himself in what being a media mogul is, that's another matter altogether. You know, this kind of Citizen Kane vibe that he's got going on. But Blue Sky is a platform for cowards, for liberal centrists and cowards, like, definitely. What do you mean? People don't turn to Brian Ferguson for the latest culture wars. Brian Ferguson's like a satire. I would almost, if he hadn't blocked me, he hadn't blocked me and another guy that fucking spread in total shite about me as well. That pissed me off. Like, it's like, what are you about? Mind Martin Geisler, Brian Ferguson's like, what are you all about? Legacy media at best is a day out of date. Yeah, but I think that's true. But I think it's important. What's going on with my? There we go. I think that's true. But I think we have to, you know, there has to be a bit of a shake-up in terms of, you know, recognising what legacy media is. Those that have, see, a sense of entitlement as well, isn't it? It's like that commentariat. It's kind of funny. It's almost like all the legacy media commentariat, especially in Scotland, they've all kind of become a sort of John Gibson. They've all become this sort of raging John, like all fuddy-duddy John Gibson writing on the back page of the Evening News. Like, all of them. And also, I think, you know, with this, I made that statement the other day about the independence stuff, you know, it's like, it's quite tragic. They're quite tragic. They've done nothing to, and I'm talking about those figureheads that have been arguing these same dead arguments with each other in the public domain. They've got no self-awareness whatsoever. I don't know what this... John, totally, you read about stuff happening on here within seconds and minutes. Yeah, that's also, you know, it's important to think about, you know, the accelerated rate of change with everything and information. John Gibson, that's going back about, you know what I mean, he's broom breed, isn't he? Let's have a moment of respite. Has everybody been checking the vibe with the Brewdog guy? He's trying to create some sort of so he's obviously got like a PR team, or I think it's his missus. Like somebody's there trying to turn him into some sort of a cultural figurehead, which is the worst decision ever made. It's like trying to make a pop star out of like a JK or something. In fact, that would be more interesting. Let's there was a great sketch. I think what are they called? They're called Fix This Window. I think they're based in Edinburgh. I've got a wee sketch by them. I'll put the boy on here. 2 seconds.
Before I hire anyone for Brewdog, I do a simple test in my head. Would I want to be stood with them on a North Atlantic fishing boat when everything's going wrong?
What if we just like wrote motherfucker on this?
It's Martin.
Martin.
No, Martin. Martin.
Martin.
I'm saying Martin.
Martin. I don't care what the supermarkets say. Put that swear word on that can. Tastes very skunky. Stored badly in a green glass bottle. Must be a Heineken.
We've not even started, James.
North Atlantic fishing boat. So in our office we have this. It's a reminder of when I worked in a North Atlantic fishing boat. North Atlantic fishing boat. I caught a prize cod. We used the juices from the rotten carcass to make Codfucker IPA. It didn't sell many cans, but we made big waves in the industry. Paul, have you seen my North Face chalet?
Motherfucker, that's good.
North Atlantic fishing boat. What if we just make a stout that says fuck Guinness?
North.
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 No, listen. North.
North. North Atlantic fishing boat. Fuck your work-life balance. Just have a punk. North Atlantic fishing boat.
No. Shit. Sorry.
Right, I'm back. That was I thought they were quite funny. Stars, pound shop stars of the rise. Listen, let me tell you. Gregor says about Brewdog ever became popular in the first place. Listen, right? Why is that not? I was the first person. To slag Brewdog. Right? I slagged Brewdog before everyone. Brutally. I spent a whole season on Twitter slagging Brewdog, right? Someone will remember. That was my old account that got the transphobes, not the transphobes, the TRAs got my account banned. Remember, for those that remember, they called me transphobic and that was it. I lost my fucking Twitter account. I always love this kind of apologetic, you're late. But I used to slag Brewdog before everyone. I hate Brewdog, shite beer. Yes, it is. The other clip there was a wee clip from the Screaming Kick, who I went to see at the Wee Red Bar on was it Saturday night? Aye, it was great. Brewdog should sponsor Picardy Place. It's their kind of place. Aye, that's true. A Brewdog next to what's up there now? A fucking, what do you call it? A Taco Bell. They brought a Taco Hell. A Taco Hell to town. What's that, 11:15? There was another band that I've seen as well. They were good. They were like, the boy reminded me a bit like, he sort of had he was like a cross between Johnny Rotten and a young Ian Curtis. Well, not that Ian Curtis got that old. But it was, I'll play them actually. Where was it? You know what they're called? They're called the Second World War. I'll play a wee clip from the boys. They were good, man. They were cool. I don't know if they're maybe they seem to have a pretty decent crowd in that, so maybe they're popular with the young ones and that, you know. But I think we'll just keep Sky Blue's comment up there forever for every What the X now, going forward. We'll just get some t-shirts made with "I hate Brewdog, shite beer." He did. I had an Iggy Pop. That particular track. I had a Be Your Dog vibe, but the other stuff they've done, it was good, man. Honestly, I think they've an interesting. I mean, I don't know. I try to look for their social media, and they never had any, which, as far as I can see, that's definitely a good thing. So they're obviously destined for greatness already. They've eschewed the perils, the addictive perils. So anyway, right. I put up a 10:47. I've got today, with any luck, there's never enough time, is there? There's a council by-election for 2 council places on Thursday. I'm on the ballot, as are a bunch of other folk. So if you know anybody in Ward 8, which is Oxgang, Swanston, Fairmill Head, Collington, then and they're daft enough to still be on the voting roll, then get them to vote for moi or whoever they want. Just don't vote for party political muppets. So I was going to sort of look at the candidates, but we might probably just do that on Wednesday morning, because the day before the vote and whatnot, that's probably worth doing. I'm supposed to be doing some filming later on today. Oh, I've got some messages here. Hold on a second. Just let me see. Okay. Right, neighbour, that's fine. So that's right, that's what I was going to say. So I put up a wee post yesterday, just now George Patterson is saying something. So he's saying, legacy media, billionaires instructing millionaires to find new ways to sell the status quo to the plebs. Yeah, and see, this is, I mean, I'm not saying that the era of mandatory entrepreneurship is particularly great either, but you can definitely tell that for want of a better term, that there is a real battle for the narrative, or if you like, a battle for consciousness, you know, which is really the battle that we're involved in. I had put up a wee post yesterday because it struck me. I was like, I wonder how many of these I've done, and I think it was 65. So we've done 65 episodes of What the X since August. So that's like coming up for like 6 months. And between the different platforms, by the end of the day, it averages about sort of 700 views so far. It's growing, and that's great. It's great to know that folk are joining us. I've no doubt that some are more dynamic than others, but then, like, you know, it's just me here, boys and girls. But it does take a graft to do this, to be honest. And I appreciate everybody that does donate and support and is a member of the Patreon. But if you're able to support the show, then please do so, because it's, you know, I'd like to keep it going. I'd like to develop it, and there's loads of things I'd like to do in terms of what kind of media we have in Edinburgh in particular. But really, people need to decide if they want to support a project like this. So if you are able to become a member of the Patreon, or donate, or assist in any way, or if you've got any ideas about how we can maybe raise some capital for What the X, then get in touch. But aye, a wee bit of a plug. It's not something I do a lot of. A lot of other people are pretty hard on themselves sometimes, but I really ought to just make that point. If you're able to assist, then please do so. Now, I saw that Jeremy Corbyn had been sent for investigation or something, which is also one other thing. If you'd like, this guy, never forget that they did this. The idea that, oh, we're Scotland, we're separate from this, like, we've got some sort of like clean sheet compared to everywhere else. No, we're not. Right in the middle of a genocide, he met a representative of the Israeli government and took them out for haggis and all the rest of it. He's an absolute parasite. And the fact that he's involved in Scottish arts and all these so-called, like conscientious Scottish artists or whatever like that, and it's just made a mockery of the lot he is. You can't condemn that muppet. That guy shouldn't be in a job. The opposition, the only people that have led, really, because let's be honest about this, there's a real class line in terms of who's actually been able to find the energy and motivation to actually oppose this genocide publicly. And it's predominantly been the middle classes. And the middle classes are overwhelmingly populate the arts. And so they're ideologically opposed to a genocide, but they couldn't find it in themselves to particularly oppose this absolute parasite. It's made a mockery of Scottish culture, it really has. But it's a good thing as well, because it's exposed a lot of people. Well, so we see you, we know who you are, we ken exactly who you are. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you are. I'm going to play a wee, oh wait a minute, see the Palestinian musicians and artists who had their visas refused. The National was bemoaning it, and screeds of comments that things would be different. All the while, Robertson is our culture minister, 100% well done. I did see the article, I never even read it, I just seen it, absolutely. This is like, join the Patreon or the puppy gets it. Matty, don't do it. I'll throw myself out the window if X stops. Would have to join a support group. Like, share and support to keep it going. Yeah. Didn't do that. Didn't fling us out a window. Didn't blackmail. What's with the emotional blackmail as well? I'm going to play a wee video before I come back and play out, right? So, because we're going to come back to this, because I think it's an interesting thing. It's about 4 minutes long. I saw it the other day and I thought this is quite interesting, so I'm just going to play it. Where is it here? Okay, so it's quite an interesting thing. I personally have a personal interest in all this stuff, so I think I'm going to play it. But I'll be back in a minute, so check this out. Where is it here?
I remember things very vividly from a very young age. When I was a little kid, I actually spent a lot of time with my grandparents. My grandfather was a nuclear physicist. I remember he was telling me about black holes. And that terrified me.
I was like, that's just mind-boggling. It's a monster, right?
But at the same time, it fascinated me. And I said to myself, how do we know that? This unthinkably massive thing. I realized that nature doesn't keep secrets. It's only a matter of, do we understand? What tools can we use to expand our knowledge? And for me, dimethyltryptamine, also known as DMT, was the tool that led me to the discovery.
When I first saw the phenomenon, it was like, holy shit!
But then it was actually like, whoa, what is happening?
Am I losing my mind? But then I showed other people, and things kept getting weirder.
Just for the record, I haven't told him anything. Okay, just tell me what you see.
Oh my god, come on.
Wow, what the fuck? Holy shit. I just saw something. Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh, I've seen that. I feel it.
I've been under the influence of mind-altering substances a lot, but I've never seen anything like that. Whoa.
I showed over 100 people, and I kept asking myself, how are all of us seeing the same thing?
Oh my god. It's changing shapes right there.
The laser was revealing numbers and letters running in a pattern.
They're almost like this big here, and it looks like code.
It looked like programming code.
It's definitely saying something, and I just want to take a picture of it and translate it.
Wow.
You see that?
Okay, so yeah, it's not stuck.
No.
It's not because of the light.
No, it's on its own side. Light is just literally revealing it.
And each angle shows you different layers, different ways through it.
I could see through the wall. It's not like a hallucination. It has spatial awareness and permanence. I don't know. Whoa.
For centuries, mankind has attempted to explore these psychedelic, altered states, but we've never had a repeatable, testable phenomenon to observe until now.
Wow. I'm obsessed.
It's like you can see through the laser into another dimension.
I mean, like, take yourself to that. Like, I just made a connection that nobody made before, which is a simple connection. The claim is, if you project a diffracted laser on the surface and you smoke DMT, you will see code running in surfaces. Yes, like in the Matrix.
So there are a few possibilities. One,
I lost my mind, which is the coolest losing your mind ever in history.
The second option is that
this is the biggest discovery of humankind. If anybody ever asked themselves what it would be like to know you live in the Matrix for sure, well, I know for sure. I'm convinced.
So where do we go from here? All I know is
it's about to get crazy.
Well, It's certainly. I mean, you're smoking DMT, right? You're dripping balls, but I definitely am intrigued by what's going on there. Nobody understands DMT. He got to be. Shout out to David Lynch. Yeah, sad that David Lynch has departed. But birthday today, global meditation for 10 minutes at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, 8 PM UK today to pay tribute to the big man. Seems that everyone was a huge fan of his work, and I never even really knew he was. Still cool to see someone unite so many in mourning. R.I.P. Yes, very much so. Right, well, yeah, on that note of altered states of consciousness, thank you very much for everyone who's joined us today. It's a healthy amount of viewers between our two platforms here. I think we're looking at about 150 or something all in just now live. So I shall be back on Wednesday morning at 10 AM and we can ponder the meaning of life and hyperdimensionality further. Until then, I'm going to leave you with the Screaming Kick, a video, Too Nasty to Be Left Wing, and I'll catch you all soon. Like, subscribe, share the vibe, join the Patreon, catch you later.